guys, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this lacy flower granny square. And for this project you need a 5mm hook, and also this is worsted weight yarn, which is 4-ply for the US and 10-ply for Australia. For the skein itself, I should say for the granny square itself, it takes less than a skein. If you want to make a blanket, then I would, depending on the size, I have the dimensions of how many grannies you'll need for each size. For twin size, for queen size, and king size on my site. And I used 2 skeins of each color. And I used 7 different colors. So that's just for twin size. So if you were going to be making a queen size, you probably need to double that amount of yarn. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this little granny square here. So I'm going to grab hopefully some yarn that shows up good on camera. Move this out of the way. Okay. To begin, and if you're wondering why I'm using this hook instead of my furls hook, you would not believe my furls hook has broken. See on the side, it's like completely snapped off. I've got it set up to focus on about here. See how it's just completely smooth here? I have, in Israel, we have a lot of concrete floors. So it fell on the floor on the concrete and it broke. But I'm going to get another one, I hope, very soon. So until then, I gotta suffer with my old one. I know some of you are probably saying, boo-hoo, you've never had one before, but I don't know what's worse. Having one and actually lost it and know how much it helps you, or to never have one at all. I definitely don't think I'm gonna be living without one for very long. Okay. For this first row, you want to start off by chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make it just a little closer here. Hopefully it stays in focus. Okay, so you want to slip stitch in the beginning chain to form a ring. Then chain 2, which will count as your very first double crochet. You want to start working in the ring now, and you want to work 11 double crochets in this ring. Remember that chain 2 at the beginning will count as a stitch, so at the end of this round you should have 12 double crochets. Okay, I like to work over my tail as I work around my center and do my double crochets. I like to work over the tail. You don't have to, but when you get done, you can always pull that tail and tighten it. So once you have your 12 stitches, you want to slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain 2. And this is usually where I pull my tail just to close my hole up a little bit. Then chain 2. And working in that same chain stitch, yarn over, go into that chain. I'm working over my tail again. And you're going to start your cluster. So you're only going to pull through 2. So you have the chain 2, and this double crochet counts as 2 stitches in this 1 stitch. So move over to your next, and you'll also be working 2 incomplete double crochets here too. So insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops only. Then yarn over, go back into that same stitch, because you'll be putting 2 stitches per stitch. Then yarn over, pull through only 2, which will leave you 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. That's your first petal. So after that, you'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then move right on to the next stitch. Don't skip any. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2 loops. Then yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through only 2 loops. There's 2 stitches done in this stitch, so move to the next. Yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook in that same stitch, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through only 2 loops. Now you have 5 loops on your hook. It's only that very first cluster of the round that you'll have 4 on the hook. From now on you'll have 5. So then pull through all 5 loops and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You repeat this for the rest of the round, and I'll show you again. Remember, do not skip a stitch, go right into the next. So you'll yarn over and only pull through 2, and you'll yarn over, go through the same stitch and only pull through 2. Remember, you're only doing 2, you're doing 2 stitches per one. Then repeat for the next. Yarn over and then pull through 2 and pull through 2. Again, 5 loops on the hook, pull through all 5 loops, then chain 4 when you get done. It'll be the same all the way into the end, and then when you get done with your very last cluster of the round, instead of chaining 4, you'll chain 3 and then slip stitch in the top chain. But I'll show you how to do that when we get done. So I'll meet you back here in a moment. Okay, just got done with the last cluster of the round, and like I said, you want to only chain 3 instead of chaining 4. The reason why you chain 3 instead of chaining 4, because when you slip stitch, that will be your 4th chain. So find the beginning chain 2 here and slip stitch in that beginning chain. And when you slip stitch, see, it created that last chain. So for round 3, let me back up a bit because my piece is getting bigger. Hope it's back enough. Okay. So for this round, you want to chain 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So for round 3, chain 6. And then now in your chain 4 space, your first chain 4 space, go ahead and slip stitch in there. Then repeat for the whole round. Chain 6 again. Find the next chain space, chain 4 space, and slip stitch. Chain 6 again, 3, 4, 5, 6. Find the next chain 4 space and slip stitch, and you'll do that all the way around. Okay, so it's my last chain 6 space, and this is the last chain 4 space of the round. So I'm going to slip stitch in there, and that's what it looks like. You can see the flower in the middle is a little pushed forward, but that's okay, it will flatten out. So now what you want to do, just to make this little part end a little neater, and I think I want to come in a little closer for this. What I do is I just pull up my loop a little bit just to extend it a little bit so it doesn't pull so much over to the left. And then I want to find this same stitch where I first began my first chain, where I slip stitched and began my very first chain 6, and I'm going to slip stitch right into that same stitch. And that makes the middle part end a lot better. Then to begin your next round, just go right into this closest chain 6 space, and again loosely just slip stitch in there. Now you're ready to begin round 4. Round 4, right? Yes, round 4. Okay, for round 4, again, you're going to start off by chaining 3. Oh, I guess that's the first time you chain 3. Okay, so you're going to start round 4 by chaining 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet. Then yarn over and put 7 more double crochets, or put 7 double crochets in this chain worked on the chain 6 from last round. Remember, you're counting that very first chain here. The very beginning chain 3 is a stitch. So the idea is to have 8 stitches on this chain 6 space and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have a chain 3 here and 7 double crochets. That gives you 8 stitches on this chain 6. So move over to your next chain 6 and work 8 double crochets on this chain 6. And you'll continue working 8 double crochets in each chain 6 space. There's no need to chain 1 in between each set or in between each double crochet. There's no chaining 1 this round. You're just going to move to each chain 6 space and pop in there 8 double crochets. But it's so important, make sure you count. I usually split it in half, make sure I have 4 on this side, 4 on this side, and then I move on. Because you're going to be working in this space between these 4 double crochets next round. So continue to do that all the way around, and when you get done, I'll see you back here. Okay, when you get done with the round, to end this round, you want to find the top of the chain 3, the beginning chain 3, and then slip stitch in the top of the chain 3. Now for round 5, going by memory, so I'm hoping, yeah, for round 5, you want to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then find your center space. You'll have 4 double crochets on this side, 4 double crochets on this side. You want to find that little space in the middle. You're not going to be going through the stitch, you're going to be just going through that space and slip stitch. Chain 6 again, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this time you're going to be slip stitching in this big old space here that's in between each set. And then you repeat that for the round. Chain 6, 4, 5, 6, find the space in between the 8 double crochets and slip stitch, then chain 6 again, and then slip stitch in the big space in between the 2 sets of 8. So you're always going to be chaining 6, slip stitching in between, 4 on each side. You're doing in the middle of the 8, and then again in the big old spaces that are in between each set of 8. So you're going to be slip stitching in between here and then here, but chaining 6 in between. Continue that all the way around, and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, to end round 5, I just did the last I slip stitched here, did my last chain 6, which I'm going to put worked in my space right here, which is the space right before we started our first chain. So I'm going to slip stitch in this big space, and that will end round 5. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 little chain 6 spaces. Now for round 6, you're going to slip stitch into this very first chain 6 space and chain 3. Now we're going to be doing triple crochet, so wrap over twice, yarn over twice, and then do your triple crochet. We're going to be putting 4 in here, so you have your first 4, the chain 3 counts as 1 triple crochet, and then you have 3 triple crochets made. Now this first one we're going to do is a corner, so go ahead and chain 3, and if you need, you can slide those triple crochets down, and you want to work 4 more triple crochets in that same chain 6 space. So you did your chain 3, and now you're going to work your 4 triple crochets on this side to finish your corner. Okay, that's your corner. 4 triple crochets, chain 3, 4 triple crochets, and you'll do each corner the same way throughout this granny square. Okay, then for the next 2 chain 6 spaces, we're going to be putting 4 triple crochets in this chain 6 space and 4 triple crochets in this chain 6 space. These are going to be the 2 middle sections between our corners. Always make sure you have 2 completed before you start your corner, because I kept messing up and wouldn't pay attention, or I would do what I'm about to show you right now. I would tell myself in my mind that I needed to have 2. I had my corner here, and then I need 2 in the middle. So I'd say, okay, I have my corner, I have my 2. Okay, let me go ahead and do my corner. And I would just do my corner right here in the same stitch instead of starting over and doing my corner here. And I wouldn't realize it until I got almost to the end and realized I have an extra chain 6 space. And I'm like, what? And I start over. I can't tell you how many times I did that before I finally made a mental note to always make sure before I start my corner in the next space that you have corner, then you have the 2. So essentially you have 1, 2, 3 completed before you go into your 4th. May take you a few times messing up before you get it in your mind. So once you have those 2 center ones, you do your next corner space, which will consist of 4 triple crochets, chain 3, and then 4 triple crochets, all worked in the same chain 6 space. I'm getting off screen, sorry. Just trying to do this quickly so you can see. Okay. I'm going to show you now this. That's what your top will look like. It'll have a corner, then 2 spaces will be 4 triple crochets, and then you'll do your next corner. So then you continue around. The next 2 will also be 4 triple crochet, 4 triple crochet, and then you'll start your corner space again. And this is basically what it'll be like. You're turning your circle into a square. So you want to continue to work your triple crochets all the way around, and I will see you when you get back. Okay, when you reach the end of round, I keep forgetting what round I'm on. I've made so many of these, I've like memorized it. That was round 6. So for round 7, round 7, which is the final round. To end round 6 though, you have to slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain 3. Now we'll end round 6. Now for round 7, you just want to chain 1 because we're going to be doing single crochets here. And this is, oh yeah, I backed out because I wanted to show you, whoops, what the row should look like. Should have 2 in each center and in each corner. Okay. So you did your chain 1, and now you want to go right back into that chain, top of that chain 3, where you just slip stitched and chained 1, and do your first single crochet there. Then you want to work 1 single crochet. Oh, probably a little close, aren't I? In each of these stitches, you have 4 on top of your 4. You have your first 4 stitches, obviously, on top of your first 4 triple crochets. Then you'll reach the corner here, and you want to work 5 single crochets in each corner. So in this space, I'm going to put 5 single crochets. It's 3, 4, and 5. Now your very first stitch can sometimes be hard to see. It's right here. Don't cover it up. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have 16 stitches from corner to corner. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, which will bring you right back over to your corner where you will do 5 single crochets worked in this corner. Then work your next 16 stitches down, 5 in the corner, 16 stitches, 5 in the corner. Continue all the way around, and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, to end the granny, you're going to find the very first single crochet that you did of the round, not this chain space in between, but the first single crochet, and slip stitch in that first single crochet. Chain 1, and then cut your yarn. Well, I guess I don't need to cut my yarn because I'm not keeping this, Granny. So let me back up, and recommend you cutting it to where you have a decent amount of tail here or so. Cut it and then pull your tail through, pull it tight, and then work your tail in through your stitches back here to hide them. And that is it. That is how you make the Lacy flower granny square. I hope that you liked this tutorial, and if you did, please don't forget to click like, and please leave a comment on my video and let me know what kind of other projects you'd like to see. Also, check me out on Facebook. I share a lot of free pattern links there, so it's a good free pattern source. Also, if you haven't gotten around to subscribing or you're a first-time watcher, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and always know whenever I upload something new. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching.